Hi, this is Bob Steele. I'm doing a video lesson, which is a walk through a 2019 practice calculator paper. Even if you've already sat assessments for this year, until you know one way or the other whether you've passed or not, maths still needs to continue, so the teaching continues, the practice continues. So I'll continue making and teaching lessons. So let's work through this, and hopefully you will learn something that will help you in any future assessments. Okay, we'll start with question 1. Recent papers quite often begin with a unit conversion question, so you need to be sure of your prefixes, your milli, centi, kilo, and you need to be able to work between them. So key bit of knowledge that you need here is that 1 litre equals 1,000 mil. You know that, then 3 litres will be 3 times as much. So 3,000 mil is your answer for the first question. A prime number is something that's only divisible by 1 in itself, and in this list here, that would be 19. I can tell by looking that everything else here is in the 2 times table because all the other numbers are even. Square numbers, if you need a reminder, square numbers are things like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, so on. Yeah. This is 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared. Here, 16 is actually 4 times 4. And that's the only square number that's in that list. Okay. All the factors of 20. I recommend that you find your factors in pairs, so you can get 20 from 1 times 20, from 2 times 10, or from 4 times 5. So those 6 are all the factors of 20. Okay, on an ordinary 6-sided die, you've got 6 faces, so I'll put that on the bottom of my fraction, and 3 of those faces are odd. Yeah, the 1, the 3, and the 5. We've got 3 out of 6. Please stick to fractions. Percentages and decimals are also valid, but this is much simpler left as a fraction. And the probability of scoring a 1, sorry, not a 1, scoring a 6 is 1 chance out of 6. Please make sure you don't use ratio notation, yeah? I've seen some students write 1:6. That will be marked wrong if you were to do that. Okay, having a look here, the bread starter could be had with lasagna, bread with pizza, or bread with ravioli. And then the same applies for salad. Salad could be had with each of the same 3 main courses. Single letter abbreviations are fine, so the same applies for olives. So no need to write out in full. That answer will get you full marks. Right, when you simplify this, there should be no time signs left. So the 3 times 4 is 12, and F times G is FG. Please do not leave any time signs in your answer. And here, 3x plus 5x is 8x. That's the easier part. And then the minus 6y plus y is minus 5y. There's your final answer for those 2 marks. Right. The maths for simplifying ratios is the same maths as the maths for simplifying fractions. It's just that the numbers are side by side instead of top and bottom. So whatever you divide one side by, you have to do the same with the other side. So for example, divide the left by 4 and divide the right by 4. Are we finished? No, I don't think we are, because these are still both even numbers. So my next step would be to divide the left by 2 and the right by 2. Now we're finished. So that's my final answer. Part B, left-handed, right-handed. If 1/9 are left-handed, then the remaining 8/9 to make up a whole must be right-handed. So your ratio is 1 to 8. Please don't get fooled into writing 1 to 9. That would be wrong. Out of every 9 people, 1 is left-handed, 8 are right-handed. That's what this means. Hopefully you can see here that this sequence is descending by 3 each time. So your next term will be a 2. And in this sequence, what this means is you take the value of n, square it, times by 10. Yeah? The rules of BIDMAS apply, so you've got to square before you times. And you do this when n equals 5. So you've got 5 squared multiplied by 10, to which you then add 5. So the 5 squared is 25, times 10 is 250, plus 5 is 255. So there's your final answer to part B. This is a calculator paper. I haven't used the calculator yet, but that's just me. This is one where you might want to use a calculator and tap into the calculator. What's 6 lots of 84p? If you do that, you will find that the answer is 504, which as pounds and pence is £5 and 4 pence. So then if you take £5 and 4 pence away from £10, you'll be left with £4.96. So that's what we will be looking for there. And if the price of sausage rolls goes up, you'll spend more money, so you'll get less change. So I'm just going to write here, get less change. Only worth 1 mark, so we're not expected to write a great deal. Okay, question 10. Eggs come in packs of 6. So 6, 2 packs of 12, 3 pack would be 18. So I'm stopping once I get past the 16 that I need. So that is 3 packs of eggs. So that's 3 lots of 145. Put that into your calculator, you will get 435, 500 grams, another 500 makes 1,000, another 500 makes 1,500. I don't need to go as far as this because the second bag gets me past 675. So that's going to be 2 lots of 59p. And a single bag of flour will be enough. We only need 390. So that will just be 95 pence. Add all that together and you've got £6.48. Right. Need to be aware that 15% is equal to 15 over 100 fraction and is also equal to 0.15 as a decimal. So on a calculator paper, I would make sure I used a calculator method and I would work out the deposit by this method. And that gives me £81. If I then, because it's a deposit, I'm going to subtract it, and that will tell me what's left to pay. And if I then, next step, pay that at £17 a month, that's going to take me 27 months. I'm not showing myself typing this into the calculator, but these are the calculations that I would expect you to make. So there's your first step, there's your second step, there's your third step. Okay, pie chart angles. If the frequencies haven't already been added up for you, that's the first thing you're going to need to do. Sometimes it's actually given in the question. 72. And on a foundation paper, that number tends to go into 360 a whole number of times. So doing this division here gives us 5. That means all our frequencies have to be multiplied by 5 to turn them into angles. We get 60 degrees, 100 degrees, and 50 degrees. I'm not covering the how to use a protractor part. I can't overlay a protractor on the screen, but what I can show you is that's what a correct finished answer should look like. There's your 150 degrees, 60, 100, and 50. So there you go. So it's a scale question. 1 centimetre, 5 kilometres. So you're going to have to measure this on the paper with your ruler. I do have this physical paper with me, so I measured this earlier and it came out at 7.5 centimeters. The maths you would do, that's a times 7.5. So this actual distance is also times 7.5, and that will give you 37.5 kilometers. So that's your final answer, part B. Okay, question 14. Meters squared. There's a big clue that this is an area question. And for area questions, you'd be expected to know this formula. Area equals pi times radius squared. So there's your diameter. 32 meters. Also expected to know that radius is half of diameter. So the area of this circular field is going to be pi times 16 squared. Now, if you don't have a pi button on your calculator, you can use the approximation of 3.142. And this is going to come out at 804.2, I think. And then how many times does 66 go into this? I think to the nearest whole number is going to be accurate enough. What I need do this division, and so depending on how accurate you've been, you're either going to get 12.18 or 12.19. The important thing is, if you need more than 12 boxes, you are into a 13th box. So even though 12.18 would ordinarily round down to 12, in a question like this, we are going to have to go up to 13. So we will need 13 boxes. I'm going to do part 2 of this in a second video. So for now, I'm going to stop recording and carry on a bit later.